If you look at this map, you'll see this orange area. That is everything that was destroyed in the Great Earthquake and Fire of 1906. Imagine standing in this very spot, looking downtown and seeing almost the entire city in flames and smoldering ashes. Imagine everything except for this spot burning. Everything except this little orange dot. Now you may ask yourself why this neighborhood survived. In 1906, the US Army came in and said, we're gonna put a stop to this. We have a plan. No water, no worries. We've got fire breaks. And that is where they take large amounts of dynamite, put it in city blocks, and destroy those city blocks to starve the fire of its fuel. So, the citizens, desperate for any help they could get, said, please do whatever you need to do to take care of this fire. The US Army said, great, we'll do it right here on Jackson Street. The citizens said, Jackson Street? You can't do it on Jackson Street. We got Hotaling's warehouse on Jackson Street. And I'll have you know, Hotaling's warehouse is the largest whiskey repository on the entire West Coast. They continued to explain to the Army, if you mix dynamite and whiskey, you'll just get a huge explosion. And we won't have any more whiskey. The Army said, we need to put a break here. The citizens said, no. So this went on back and forth, alcoholics versus the Army, until the fire got closer and we had to decide upon a victor. And who do you think won with all their intelligence, all the planning? Of course, it had to be the alcoholics. So the Army moved their fire breaks to the other side of North Beach. They set up their explosives, blew up the buildings, and then realized that they were working with gunpowder, which is highly flammable and only made the fires spread faster. This burnt down the entire North Beach area, destroying old churches, houses, and businesses. Fortunately, the winds would shift and save the rest of the Barbary Coast, and we would find that that would also bring attention from religious zealots who claimed that this was no natural disaster. This was no accident. This was a righteous act of God seeking retribution for heinous acts by a hedonistic culture in San Francisco from bars, brothels, and murders. Take that how you will. A local poet had his own interpretation. He said that, we love the words so much, we immortalized them in this plaque. If God so spanked the town for being over frisky, why did he burn the churches down and save Hotaling's whiskey? I find this a happy ending for AP, who in his own life had his fair share of hard times. In fact, before he died, 2 of his 4 sons died. He himself met his own demise in 1900, 6 years before the Great Quake and Fires. Thankfully, he didn't have to witness any of these. He does, however, live on. We have a local Hotaling distillery that still produces whiskey to this day, and in that distillery, in his office, some say he still haunts. If you ever get the chance to go into the safe, please let me know if you get a sense of claustrophobia, if you feel a sensation of burning around you, because many other people have reported the same thing. We also have reports from the lower level, which connects in the basement to a network of tunnels. We have reports from Isabel Marin workers that say they experience hauntings and creepy feelings on the regular. Now upstairs, we have a finance firm still operating, and we have multiple reports from partners that work there. The most prominent report that we hear is that often workers will be working as they do, and they sense a presence behind them, almost as if there was a boss watching over their shoulder, making sure they're working diligently. The second most common report is people will see a man well-dressed turning and disappearing moments later. The final story we have from these partners comes from one named Robert, who works in the office that used to be AP's. Now he reports one night late after everyone had gone home. He was feeling a little bit tired and swears he could have seen someone sitting in his chair. But no, he thinks, I'm just gonna go take a seat, do some thinking, because I didn't see that. He goes to sit down and realizes that he can't, almost as if there's an energy pushing him back up. So he, a little shaken, decides to move over to his client's chair. He realizes, after being a little shaken up, that he's gonna reach for his dear whiskey decanter that he keeps always by his desk, by the big leather chair. However, when he reaches for it, he notices that it's already open and frighteningly already poured into the 2 glasses. There's no way he did this, he knows. We like to think that this was a push from AP, showing that this desk chair was his. This leathered boss chair, absolutely his. He still runs the show, good old AP. And some say, if you look across the way to the street light, if he is feeling friendly enough, AP might show his energy and turn that light on and off. If we ask kindly enough, if we say his name, we can only hope. Now let's move on to the pendulum.